So I'm not hearing any sound. Hey folks, how's it going? I don't know if my software screwed up again. Looks like it is. If you can let me know if I'm there, I greatly appreciate it.
I got you.
You got me? Yeah, my software's locked up again. This is crazy, but appreciate all you folks being here. I got my good group in here, my good core group of people. Lori's Thrifty Kitchen Pantry. Got Biggs. Yeah, Biggs is with us tonight, looks like. All right, Biggs Homestead Kitchen.
Craig, comfortably numb. Michael.
Comfortably numb. Michael O'Brien's with us. Lynn Stalker. Tammy Joe. All right. Looks like we got a good group in here right now. I appreciate it, folks. Say Craig's in here. I don't see him anywhere.
Yep. He says you're coming through 5x9.
Oh, all right, Dan.
That's good, right?
I guess so. 5x5 is perfect. So 5x. Greg Harmon's back with us this week. All right. Son EP87, appreciate you coming back to us tonight. I really do. Fluffy Otter's with us. All right. Scottish Prepper. David's with us. Yeah, all right. Hey, David, I got a question. I want you to answer for me right quick before you get on. I know it's late over there and you probably got to get out of here, but has the grocery stores actually started rationing vegetables over there? I'm seeing reports of that here, and I can't confirm it. But I hope it's not true, but if you'll let me know, I'd appreciate it. David Workman's back with us. Patty. All right. Patty's with us again tonight. Yeah. All right. I got my notes over there on my little whiteboard that I go by, but I'm going to kind of get off that for a minute. Lady Prepper, don't know what's coming. Nobody does because I just thought about it. But it's something that needs to be said. It looks like Cleveland's in the house. Thank you for being with us tonight. But it looks like several federal agencies are finally admitting that the was lab created. And they're starting to comment on that because I think maybe something's coming in a big way that's going to expose all that. Could be wrong, but I mean, why else would federal agencies say, yeah, we think this actually happened? When, 2 years ago, if they said that, they would have been silenced. They would have been blackballed. They would have been taken off of any social media accounts, any news, other than probably Fox. But now they're finally, starting to admit that, yeah, that's what happened. Especially after we saw the videos of I think it was the Moderna executive trying to impress his boyfriend, bragging about how they're actually doing, I'll call it GOF research. So they can develop almost said the word, can't say that. So they can develop these for the future. But if they don't develop the virus, if they don't develop that in the first place, they won't need this to protect you from it. So it's all just a big money scheme. It's all just a big money scheme. It's all it is. And it's finally coming out. Got to be careful what I say here because if I don't, this video will vanish like the one I did about a month ago. And then I got all my social media accounts locked up the next day. So I really got to be careful what I say here. Like I said in that video that vanished, everything's being monitored. And they have people that no doubt that they kind of keep a lookout for. And channels like this are the ones they're on the lookout for. But look for something on that to come in the future. What?
You got an answer about the vegetable rationing.
What's up?
3 max per customer, tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers expected to last for 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. Oh.
What wonder what they're going to grow in 4 weeks. It's going to make a difference.
Yeah, well, it looks like my connection over in Scotland has confirmed that yes, rationing has began over there on their vegetables. We're going to get into that here in just a minute because I got something on that you're going to find. It's going to blow your mind. But I have the documentation here for everybody. You can look at it yourself. Who's your prepper nurses with us? All right. Appreciate you being here, girl. And I like those videos you've been cranking out. I saw 2 of your shorts today. Those are on the ball. I appreciate it. But we got Kayla with us tonight. Yep. Hey, all right. But that's just one of the things that you really need to be on the lookout for in the coming weeks. I think they're finally going to expose all of that. And what you see now are federal departments trying to run for cover. And they're trying to get out ahead of it. But I don't think it's going to work. It's too late, but we'll see. Now, another thing you might want to, that I find kind of funny, and I would say interesting, but it's actually a damn joke. I'll be honest with you. Fox News is going to do a fluff piece for the director of the FBI tomorrow night on Brett Baer's show. What's that turd's name? I forgot his name. Anyway, the director of the FBI, they've been on him for 2 years, and Christopher Wray. Now, tomorrow they got a fluff piece they're going to do for him, so that's not surprising coming on the heels of Rupert Murdoch telling his network to stop referencing anything about the 2020 election being fixed. So it looks like Fox is going down the drain like the rest of them. They've already done away with one network over on DirecTV. What was that? One American News. They did away with that. And the other one, oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it. Don't even watch it. But they're trying to kill all the conservative networks. I think Fox sees that coming, so they're trying to head things off. But if you want a good news source about what's going on in politics here in the United States, go check out Sky News from Australia. They'll tell you the truth. They don't pull any punches because they're not here. And the federal government can't screw with them. So they tell the truth.
It's sad you got to go to Australia to get your country's news.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's damn sad. You have to go halfway around the world to see what's happening.
Back.
Yeah. Yeah, Walter Cronkite.
We need him back.
He was actually a raging liberal, but he did his job. He sat there and read the news. He didn't put his viewpoint on it, didn't try to slant it either way. That's the way the news should be. But all right, that's enough of that. That's just my little rant here I want to start off with. But let me get on to what I had planned for tonight. And the first one is this right here. This sorry excuse for a human being on The View made a comment that the people in East Palestine, Ohio, got what they deserved because they voted for Donald Trump. Now, in all of my life, I've never wished anything bad on anybody because of their political views. I might say I don't like that POS or the bastard or whatever, but I never wished ill on anybody because of their political views. But this is just an example of what's going on in the world today, especially with liberals. They can't stand anybody to challenge their mentality because they're not sure in who they are. It's rooted in insecurities. You know, when they try to silence you, it's because they don't have an argument against what you're presenting to them, and they feel inferior, and they can't deal with that. They can't just say, okay, that's the way you feel, good. You know, let's go have a cup of coffee. We're way beyond that. Politics has gotten so, I'm going to call it what it is. It's gotten tribal, you know, that tribe against this tribe. And it's getting bad. It's getting worse every day. And the only way we're ever going to get this country back on track is to stop that. But that's enough. She don't deserve that much of my time. But what she did was a sorry excuse for a human being, and she needs to be fired. That's it. I'm going to let that go. Now, let me get on to a couple of pieces of information here for my Florida folks. One you're going to find pretty funny, and the other one is, you know, kind of interesting. But this one right here, we got one Florida legislature looking into the possibility of banning electric vehicles from evacuation routes during emergencies because he don't want them to run out of power on the interstate. But can you imagine being backed up to something like this right here? And you get up there in one lane, you got 3 lanes there. One of them's blocked by some guy with a douche knot and his electric car is dead. I mean, that would just piss you off more than the problem you already have. But I mean, he's looking into it. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to do that, but I've seen a few of these electric cars. Not all of them. I can't speak for all of them, but the ones I saw, they had park, a forward gear, drive, and reverse. That's it. There was no neutral. So if the battery died, you couldn't push it. But I'm not saying they're all that way. I don't know that. But I know the 2 or 3 that I've been in, they were all that way. They had park, drive, and reverse, and that's it. No neutral. So, but that would be terrible. I mean, but what could you do? I mean, you just have to try to go around people like that. But they might stop that now. Thank goodness. We'll see. The other one is that the concealed carry without a permit in Florida looks like it's finally going to pass. Don't have a problem with that. A lot of people do. Some people think that that's not far enough, that we should just have constitutional carry where, if you want to walk around with a gun on your hip like John Wayne, then you should be able to do that. Well, actually, I feel that way too. I don't think there should be any restrictions on carrying a firearm for your safety, but this is a step in the right direction. So I'm not going to complain about it. And even if I could strap a hog leg on my belt and walk around, trying to be a badass, I'm not going to do that. I don't want anybody to know I'm armed when I'm out and about. That gives me a tactical advantage, and I don't want to lose that. So, it looks like that's finally going to happen, folks, and that's a good thing. It really is. This one's for you guys. Got to have my apple juice. All right. Did you say Debbie and Rob's with us tonight?
She said that, I don't know if they're able to type, but she said they're going to be watching.
All right. Well, I hope they're in here tonight. Appreciate all you folks being here. I truly do. We picked up a few more subscribers this week. That's always good news. So hopefully those new folks are here as well and they enjoy what they see. You're exactly right, sir. That makes you the first target. If you're shopping somewhere and some nutcase walks in wanting to, do target practice on the customers, if it was me, I'd take out the first one I saw with a gun. So I got to figure anybody else is that way too. So keep it covered, but don't leave home without it. All right. What the World Economic Forum did, I think it was on Thursday. This is crazy. You have to go to secondary news sources to find this, but they're pretty much demanding that governments start rationing meat and fuel all over the world. There's a link below down in the description. You'll see that link there. That's to the entire article or form, the entire form that they're sending around the country. It's 30 pages. It's a lot of reading. But I put it there just in case somebody wanted to take a look at it. I scanned through. I didn't read it all word for word, but what's in there is ridiculous. They're still insisting that cow farts is going to destroy the world. And we need to cut back on meat unless, you're Klaus Schwab or John Kerry or Al Gore, they get to eat what they want, but me and you don't. We're the peasants. But one of the things in there that is ridiculous is they want to limit people to 5 gallons of vehicle fuel per month. You get 5 gallons a month. You can't go back and forth to work on that. But I guess if they institute these 15-minute cities all over the world they're talking about, you might be able to, because you just hop on your little bike and tool on down to work. But they're making, I thought you knew about that.
15-minute city?
They're making everything in your city within 15 minutes of where you live.
Like where we are.
Well, yeah, kind of. You can get pretty much anywhere. Yeah, you can get to work, you can go shopping, you can go to the movie or a concert or whatever within 15 minutes of your house. They're doing it in Oxford, England. They've already instituted that. They're getting the ball rolling over there. but you can't venture outside of your 15-minute city freely. You only get to go outside of that so many times a month without being fined and charged a carbon tax. It's just something else to take your money.
Ooh, there was this movie that we watched that was like that.
Bunch
Was
of
it
crap.
The Verge or one of those movies that you had to do that? You had to check with that blonde-haired girl. What was that movie? Oh my gosh, they had different tribes, and you picked which one you were going to live in.
Oh no, that was.
What was that?
Oh my
A
God.
series of movies. You
No, I
just
can't
described
think.
that. It's
Divergent.
horrible.
Divergent.
Divergence.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's what you just made me think of.
Yeah. But I finally broke down and bought a copy of 1 Second After. Got that today. I've never read that. I'm sure, many of you have. Supposed to be a really good book. Hopefully it is. Lady Prepper told me it's a series. There's actually 3 of them. So I'm going to read the first one, see if I like it before I commit to the other 2. It's not like my books. I mean, just go ahead and buy them all. They're all good. So don't worry about, the follow-up books being bad. They're all good. And I hope some of you folks took advantage of that free Kindle download I offered you last week. I didn't check my numbers. I never do. Lady Prepper can't believe I never check my book sales numbers or whatever, but I don't care. I mean, honestly, I didn't write them to sell. I wrote them because I wanted to share a story, and hopefully people will enjoy it. And that's all of that. So, all right, let's get on to the topic of the night. Last week we did bugging out. Hopefully you took some actions during the past week to improve your ability to bug out with what you would need to last for a couple of weeks if you had to leave your home, and means to protect what you have. Me and Craig got together last Tuesday after that broadcast, and we were talking about how we're set up, and I think we're both setting pretty good. So hopefully you will be too. You got to be able to grab what you need, get out of there within 2 or 3 minutes at least. Like I showed you last week, have that grab and go, your bug out bag, get your means of protection together, a little extra ammo, get it all together where you can just scarf it up and get out the door. But today we're going to be talking about bugging in. And even if you are sitting like this, you still may not be ready, because there's a couple of factors involved in bugging in and the SHTF that you might not even have considered. This is great. You got to have those windows covered up just in case. You never know what's going to happen. But can you let him out? He wants out the door over there. Yep,
Yes,
that's him. He wants out. But, this is just a start, guys. Boarding up that house and protecting your property like that is just the start. You got to have a good group of people in there to help you protect what you have. It don't matter, if it's just you and your wife or your husband or just you, and a group of marauders come down the street, you're done. You're pretty much done. Unless you're John Wick, you're not going to be able to hold those people off. You got to be ready for that. So what you need is a good group of people. You need a good mutual assistance group. If you're bugging in there, you need at least 4 more people with you to have a good group, core group. If you can bring in, up to 6 or 8, that's great. But make sure they bring with them what they need to survive, or at least something to help you out. I mean, you can't feed everybody. We all know that. But you got to make sure that you have that core group there to protect you in your bug in location. You have to have that. That's vital. There's no other way around it. I know one of my subscribers here said that, she is the bug out location for her family. Well, that's great, as long as her family's helping her. Laying supplies, working on skills that'll help the group, things like that. You can't just bring people in and say, okay, I got you covered because I love you. I know it's hard. If you don't, if your family shows up and they have nothing, you're not going to turn them away. It's just going to make it tougher on you. It's that simple. So, you might want to prepare for that while you're preparing for yourself. That mental acuity to be able to handle those situations as they arise, that's the toughest prep you will have your whole life. If we have a true SHTF event, are you going to be able to turn people away from your door? Because if they think you have anything, they're going to show up like this. Say this couple shows up with a little hungry kid. You're going to be able to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to help you. And then if they come back, are you going to have to be able to make it a point for them to understand that they cannot, miss the point? Yeah, if we go back, it's not going to be a pretty thing, is what you have to make them believe right off the bat. Like I said, family, you have to take care of. But when strangers show up, are you going to be able to say, no, go away? All right. Especially if people get the idea that you have food there. You got to really be careful. There's some factors involved. I don't know if y'all can hear Tucker crunching that bone, but man, he's chewing it up. There's factors there where you can't let people know that you have food there. If you have neighbors that are well trained in observation and intelligence gathering skills, then they're going to know if you have food in the house. It's that simple. And if they don't have enough, they're going to come get yours. So how do you need to fend that off? It's simple. Actually, it's pretty simple. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. What about your trash? What are you going to do with your trash? You're going to have a pile of trash out in front of your house for people to pick through and see your food cans, your food wrappers, your water bottles. You got to decide what you're going to do with that trash, folks. Because if everything has gone sideways, ain't nobody picking that trash up. You're going to have to do something with it. You can't just keep stacking it in your backyard if you're in the suburbs. If you do, that's just going to draw, rodents and disease and stuff like that. So you got to think it through. What are you going to do with those food containers? Tell you what I'm going to do. If I get stuck here, if we get stuck here, thing goes sideways and I'm having to consume my foods that I have stored here, people down the street going to have a lot of trash in their yard. It's going to look like they have food, not me. I'm going to make sure it looks like that food's somewhere other than here. But hopefully that'll never happen. Hopefully when the things do go sideways, we'll be way out of here and long gone. But you got to think about that, guys. And not just garbage, trash. What about human waste? If it's SHTF, the water's not running. What are you going to do with that human waste? Well, you got to compost it, guys. Right there, a simple little diagram shows you what to do with it. Dig 6 to 8 inches. Cover it up. What I would do probably if I was in that situation, I would cordon off an area and I would use that area just for that, because once you cover that up, it takes 21 days for that to compost. And actually, you'll be able to use that ground in the future. A lot of you are not going to like this, but it's true, for gardening. Because since the beginning of time, people have been using human waste for fertilizer. And yeah, that's right. When I was a kid, my dad planted some tomatoes over our septic tank. Yeah. And that was the best tomatoes I ever had in my life. They were about that big around and juicy and sweet. Oh man, those were some good tomatoes. Came up over that septic tank. But these are the kind of things you got to think about in advance. You got to think about them now. You got to decide, okay, if it all goes bad right now and I'm stuck here, what am I going to do? Well, these are just two of the things you have to deal with, and a couple of ways to correct it. Like I said, did I drop off? I look like I lost my signal here.
I'm good.
All right, you seeing me? Okay. This damn software is killing me. But like I said, that's just a couple of things you're going to have to consider that you might not have considered. What are you going to do with that food waste? You don't want people to see that out in front of your house. And that human waste when the toilet's not working. That's just a couple of simple ways to correct that, to take care of that. Uh, Seriously, if you're stuck in the suburbs, you know, rope off a plot of land, tape it off, whatever you got to do that you're going to use for a couple of weeks to dig those little holes and do your business and, give it time to compost. I'd wait at least a month. They say 21 days, which is 3 weeks. I would wait at least a month before I started using that plot for a garden. But that's a damn good thing to do with it. I mean, there's still civilizations all over the world that do that. They're producing healthy vegetables, and you got to consider that. It takes care of two problems at once: your waste and your garden. You get to fertilize that garden. But here's another thing you got to consider. When they start establishing those food distribution points and those water distribution points, are you going to get out and go to those yourself? Or are you just going to stay home and stay, locked in? Because like I had said, if you have somebody in your area that knows how to gather intelligence and, they've been trained in observation, they're going to know you're not going out of that house to go get food. So what does that mean? You have food there. You're going to have to. You're going to have to pick a couple of members of your party, send them out down to those food distribution points, those water distribution points, and make it look like you don't have anything. That is an absolute must. I know it will be dangerous to send somebody out, but you're going to have at least a couple of people do that. And whoever's in your mag, y'all need to get together right now and talk about it. Okay, this person's going to do it. That person's going to do it. And rotate that out. Pick, 4 to 6 people and rotate that out. Send them out 2 at a time to go to those points to make it look like you need those supplies. Now, you're going to have people that say, oh, well, you're taking food away from people that might need it. Well, you might need it too. You might not need it right now, but maybe, 4 or 5 months down the road, you might need it. But the last thing you need to do with that food, there's going to be some people that say, okay, I can get that food and I can give that to hungry people that show up. Don't ever do that. I know it's hard being a Christian to say, no, don't feed people. It is hard. But what you're doing in a situation like that is making yourself a target, because they'll think you have food there. And they're not going to be the only ones that know that. They're going to tell other people. That mob violence mentality is real, folks. And you get 8 or 10 people together that's starving to death. And this one guy says, well, that guy over there gave me some food last week. Guess where that 8 or 10 people is going to wind up going? Your house. Tucker.
You're done.
This boy's killing me tonight. You down there scratching, rattling that collar. If you guys ever find that big dumbass dog with that collar on it that has my phone number on it, don't call me. Just keep him.
Come here, baby. We're not going to give you that.
He's a good dog. He's got a big heart, and I love the hell out of him. But if he gets out of here, he's on his own. No, that's not true. I'd be out there searching high and low with my boy. Don't know if y'all saw the blooper reel with Tucker in it. Go scroll through my videos on my channel. Got one with just him on it, screwing up my videos. It's pretty fun. But, think about those bugging in situations, guys. Like I said, last week we covered bugging out. Hopefully you made those preparations this week. You improved that. So this week, think about bugging in. If you don't have what you need to cover your windows, get it. If you have a multi-level home, just make sure you cover those windows on the first floor. Absolutely have to have that. Might keep looters out. You never know. If you don't have a good mutual assistance group, get that together. Like I said, pick 6 or 8 people that you can count on. Get them together, have a party, have a little cookout, and then float the idea, hey, guys, things ain't looking too good. What are you going to do if things go bad? See what they say. Float those ideas out there to people. Plant that seed, give them that idea. And make sure that you pick good people. I know not everybody that's in my group is ready for something really bad to happen right away. But I also know with my experience and my teaching and a couple of the guys in my group, we can teach people how to do those things. So if you don't know how to do those things, that tactical training, hook up with somebody that does. Do it now. Just go talk to them and say, hey, if I have somebody attacking my house, what's the best way for me to, try to protect it? Don't let them know why you're doing it. But there are lots of them out there that'll be glad to help you out. So go ahead and reach out and make those contacts this week. Make that plan this week. Hopefully, like you did with the bug out last week. So right now, I think I'm going to get out of here. That's the mental acuity. I already addressed that.
I forgot. I was doing with Tucker. Okay.
Yeah, we had Tucker distracting us tonight. But get it together, guys. Right now's the time. I'm going to try to get my radio guy on here next week with us live. Hopefully I can. If he's in state, he travels a lot. I really hadn't even asked him about it yet, so I'm telling you first. Hopefully he'll be able to do that for us. If not, we'll move on to something else. I mean, I can tell you about the comms, but I'd rather an expert tell you instead of me. And this guy is top notch. He is on the ball with all of that stuff. So hopefully we can get that for you next week. So I'm going to go ahead and slide out of here. I'm going to say stay strong. Pray for the United States of America. We need it more right now than ever before. And keep prepping. Don't stop. You got to do it. It's got to be done. So do it now.
Craig said he'd be there for us.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'll give you a call in a day or two and we'll line it up. There we go. Our comms guy's on next week. Remember that. Come and watch us. He's going to tell you what you need to communicate when the shit goes sideways. The Orlando Prepper is out.